This is one of the main events, a Mercedes EQS. So I've had a really brief look in one before and a really brief drive a few meters in one before, but I get to drive Mercedes EQS. This is the 450 plus, so it's the rear wheel drive, four-wheel drive and an AMG are on their way. I sort of don't think you're probably going to need it with these cars though, because they're just about relaxing and taking it easy. So this is the first time I've been in this car. I'm literally still adjusting my seat. I have limited time, so I'm just going to let the cameras roll and film as I go with the Mercedes EQS. So here we go. Let's find a steering column adjustment. There we go, it's quite easy. How easy to jump in and get used to this car. Why doesn't it go to drive? That'd be a start, wouldn't it? Not ready to drive. Ah, there's... So it doesn't... There we go. Stop button is on. Let me just go and get somebody to open.
He's gonna let you out.
Cool. Okay, so this is my first drive and I'm just gonna cruise around a little bit of LA and make this up as I go along. I'll try and get out onto the freeway actually. And I'm just gonna talk to you as I find and feel things, because I don't have a vast amount of time with the car. What you do notice instantly, as soon as you close the door, you have this isolation from the outside world. As soon as you close the door, it's double laminated glass here, but it's instantly quiet. So, I'm on the top of a multi-storey car park at the moment, so let's take this down the ramp. So, will I feel this four-wheel steering? Absolutely you do. What a strange sensation. It's hard, obviously it's something you can't really pick up on camera, is just how the back end turns. So in the States here, the rear steering is a standard thing. In the UK it won't be standard, but obviously this car then does have it. And it's proper rear wheel steering. So 54% battery, it's showing a range of 229 miles. Yeah, no worries.
Go to Angeles Crest Highway. It's more like a twisty road, but it's beautiful scenery.
Angeles Crest Highway.
Yeah. All right, you're good to go.
Okay, I'll find that. Thank you. Ooh, let's close this window. I can hear some of the outside world there. Let's get rid of that. Responsive screen. Come on guys, let me out of here. That rear wheel steering is uncanny. How strange is that? Okay, Mercedes EQS, this is exciting. Oh, time for the shades on. So, nice big seat, plenty of support. Let's zoom in a little bit on the map there so I can see the junctions here. Next right. So it's making those kind of background noise. But other than that, you just can't hear anything really. Oh, front camera just popped up. Wonder what made that. Ah, because of directions. Because the nav's on. So it's giving me overlay here, which hopefully this camera's picking up, of the junction. So augmented overlay, and then in the head-up display it's just showing me arrows to turn right here. The glass roof is nice. I keep going on the side of the seat for the adjustment, but it's not there. That rear wheel steering is so strange. Nice steering wheel. It's obviously pretty light, but it's just not super over assisted. Just coming over some railway tracks here. This would be a good test for ride. What railway tracks? Yeah, amazingly good. I mean, the only thing you compare this to really is a Mercedes S-Class, maybe a BMW 7 Series. It has that kind of thing about it, where it just insulates you from as much as possible around you. It doesn't feel that big inside. I mean, this dash is actually quite high up, so it feels you know, not tight, but it, you know, wraps around you, it's enclosed. It's not the biggest sort of opening to look out of, like that. So I guess if the dash was low, you'd have slightly better visibility. Still trying to get my seat quite right. There we go. That's not bad. I mean, there's so much to play with here. So much to play with. So there's a lot of settings, which, I mean, there's other videos out there showing this kind of stuff. There's no point me really going into all of that. I'm better just giving you what my humble opinion is of the car. And I guess one of the questions with the Mercedes EQS is, if you want a new Tesla Model S, for example, but you just can't get one in the UK until 2023, but you could get one of these in the meantime, would you? Well, I'll give you my opinion on that in a minute, once I've driven this for a little while. Right here, it's just serene, it's comfortable. Exactly what you'd expect it to be. This big screen here, the mapping's good. The steering wheel does kind of obscure kind of this bit here. The overlay with the augmented reality is good. Although in the EQC, the screen where it does that is a little bit higher up, so I kind of prefer that. But it's there, it's fine, it's clear, and especially for someone who's not used to driving around LA, it makes it really easy. There's a lot of roads, a lot of junctions, it's all new, so it does make it very easy to go, what, this right or that right? And we've got exactly that. So I'm going to take the right here. So I want to try and get an idea of what possible real-world range would be. So I might have to do some calculations afterwards, but it's got 2,995 miles on the clock of this car right now, and that is on 54% battery. 2,995 miles, 54% battery. I did take a picture when I left the garage, actually, so hopefully I've got that on my phone. Right, let's go back to the map because I need it. Here we go, onto the freeway. Now this is an expensive car. It's over £100,000. I've got to be very careful. I can imagine this suits LA. It's strange. They've got, I don't know, I think some roads seem quite smooth, and then some roads and the freeways are absolutely atrocious. Now the car's telling me the limit's 30, but we're on a freeway, so I don't think that's quite right. Just picked up a sign from somewhere else. So there's a lot of little ridges in this road here, and I'm not completely insulated from them. I know they're there, but you can't see me jiggling around, can you? 1960. It does feel like it's made for this. King of the road, huh? There we go, some little crests there. Here comes a little dip up and down in a join. Barely feel it. I'd like to be alongside this car, filming the suspension and what it's doing, because it's doing a great job. I can imagine it's moving like this, but you don't feel anything in here. So I'm going to see if I can reset the consumption from start. Okay, 320 watt hours per mile. Okay. Let's relax into the cruise at the speed limit. Well, very reasonable. Right, what I'm going to do then, I'm going to carry on driving this, get used to it, get some lane assist stuff going on, get a bit of a feel for it. I'm going to come back to you in a minute and report what I think, and I'm going to get on some twisty roads as well. So far though, first impressions, very, very good. Very good indeed. Coming off the freeway now, up onto the Angeles Crest Highway. What's interesting here, just seen in the climate screen, is it's showing me that the exterior air quality is unhealthy. This is LA. The interior air quality though is currently good, and it's reduced its microparticles, and nitrogen oxides and odours. So it's pretty cool to know that stuff, and I guess pretty good for LA. It's just so serene and relaxing. It's exactly what you expect it to be. And then you've got some corners here which, you know, it does pretty well. It doesn't lean too much. It absorbs everything. I mean, it's not going to be a performance car, but it feels good. It's okay. Just coming up into the hills here. Oh, my ears are popping. There we go. We must be climbing. You put your foot down. Yeah, it's not the fastest car, but it's effortlessly smooth and obviously dead silent. Electric drivetrain just so suits cars like this. It just is perfect for them. I've been waiting for the premium manufacturers, you know, the Rolls Royces and Bentleys and the S-Class to go electric, because I've always thought it would really suit it, and it does. It's perfect. Oh, this is nice. So this corner here, I mean, there's not a lot of side bolster on the base, but so if you caught it really hard, I mean, yes, there's a bit of lean. It's a big heavy car. It feels its weight a little bit, but it does a very composed job of it all. So it has enough punch. You can punch out of corners quite happily. And although there's more powerful versions of this come in and will be available soon, does it really need it? You don't need to be hammering this thing around. You just want to relax. You can feel the rear wheel steering. So I go with this. Oh, this is a good road. The Angeles Crest Highway. I can highly, highly recommend it. So I think what I'll do now is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back down this road, and that will give me a chance to see, you know, how you can adjust this regen. There's a big lay-by section here where the tarmac's black. This must just be filled every night with people doing donuts. It's crazy. I'm just doing the turning circle is phenomenal. Check this out. Wow, it's weird. You can feel it just moving here. There's car parks full of people doing donuts. I'm kind of doing the same in slow motion, much more elegantly. Oh yes. Look at that view there. Let me take this camera with me, just to show you where I've pulled over. Here we're on the hills of Los Angeles, the own racetrack for Los Angeles. You can just see people going up and down this road. And can you see this? How this paintwork really sparkles in the sun. Okay. So as I come back down this road now, this is great having the paddles because you can easily adjust your deceleration with the regen. So it really suits it. You can go to just coasting mode if I pull that, and we're just coasting, but actually the hill's steep enough that it picks up a bit much, so I can just drop that down a little bit. Because on the motorway, I like going into the kind of coasting mode actually, but when you come to a road like this, being able to just adjust the regen with the paddles, I don't know why they don't all have this. Obviously some electric cars do, but it's not an option in a Tesla. You have the one pedal drive, but it's nice to sort of play with this. I think in the Taycan and the Audi e-tron this would be a great thing as well. Cars on luxury cars, you know, these big cars on air suspension often feel a bit floaty and wafty, so you get a bump mid-corner, often sort of seems to unsettle the car, but I'm not really getting that with this one. It's nice. I've had worse days in the office. I really have had worse days in the office. Look at this. Look at this. This road is something else. I like the way it cambers as you go around each corner. This is fantastic. What a privilege. I guess I owe everybody who watches this channel a massive thank you. We just started doing YouTube as a way of kind of showing that us as car dealers are a little bit different from all the other people trying to sell electric cars now, or certainly on the Tesla side of things. And it's gained interest and surprised us. You know, we never set out to have a YouTube channel. I know I'm very amateur. I just make things up as I go along, nothing scripted. I don't try too hard. It's just filming my thoughts as I go along, and sometimes that won't be a good thing, but hopefully sometimes it is a good thing, and the number of subscribers we've had and the interest has been brilliant, so thank you. and because of that it has allowed opportunities like an invite to this event to drive cars like this. And so it's a massive thank you to everybody that's subscribed and made that possible and given us good comments on videos. So really appreciate that, and I mean that. That car there decided to stop for the last minute, so that was interesting. As the car there suddenly stopped to go into a lay-by, and the regen, I went like that, it wasn't enough to stop the car, so I had to go for the brakes. The brake actually sort of travelled a bit and felt then quite dead. I didn't have the confidence, so let me just try the actual brake. So I'm going to reduce the regen right off and just try braking a few times whilst there's nothing behind me here. Right, ready? Yeah, so what I would say is the brakes don't actually give me much confidence. You know, I've been driving this all relaxed and not using the brakes because you've got the regen, but when you do go for the brakes, I feel pretty dead. They're not that confidence inspiring. See, I feel like I'm had to push a long way in the pedal. It feels like, I mean, I get onto doing the job, but I'd like a kind of initial nicer bite and brake feel. Okay, well there's a criticism of the EQS. The brakes are a bit kind of dead. It travels. See, if I go for the brakes hard like that, I mean the car barely pitched, it started kicking the ABS in because it was dead, then bang. Then it does brake assist, so it kind of adds to the braking, but it just doesn't have a like, progressive pedal feel. How strange. I'm trying to think of ways to explain it. I suspect it's going to blend in the brakes, have a bite to them and give you some confidence there, but they work. It's just a strange pedal feel. It's a hard one to explain. Right, coming back down into LA now. Let's put this back on the freeway and through town. I've really enjoyed my experience with this. I'll tell you what I need to find. where are the massage seats? I feel like my back's, you know, needs massaging now. So what do I think of the EQS overall? I need to try and summarise this now as I come back to a destination. Well, it's what you expect it to be inside. Smooth, quite comfortable. Electric drivetrain suits this kind of car perfectly. So it probably is the most relaxing car you could probably ever be in. It is superb. Whether you're a driver, passenger, doesn't matter. It's going to be brilliant for that. What can I criticise it for? Haptic buttons on the steering wheel. Can't really get under there. I'm finding that this positioner's door thing here is kind of my knees on that. I don't know if it's especially bad. I need to spend more hours in the car. The outside look, it's kind of okay, but I'm not blown away by it, if that makes sense. So it's all right, but it's hard to get excited by it. And things like the wing mirrors, it's just kind of a wing mirror off a parts bin bolted onto the side, and you want something a bit more elegant or beautiful about it. It's just a, there we go, wing mirror, take off the shelf, put it on the car. So there's a couple of bits, you know, and I can moan about anything really, so nothing's ever perfect, of course. But you kind of forgive it for all that, because when you're in it and driving it, it's really, really hard to beat, as long as you like a soft, relaxing car, which as I get older, I really do. So my hats go off to Mercedes for a pretty fine achievement. I'm sad to take it back, but that's unfortunately what I need to do right now. Okay, to show you the turning circle, I'm currently in a parking bay, and I'm going to move forward just a little bit and then go full up and see how many car widths it takes to turn around. There, 1.5 car widths. Does that make sense? So there's a space and then half a space, I'm in that one. It really is quite remarkable. Maybe this is where I prefer to be though. This is me in the back of the car, and this is my driving position, so I know this is exactly the right place. Does this one not have reclining seats? No. That's disappointing. So just as I say goodbye to the EQS in the background there, I was just doing some calculations based on the percentage of the battery used and the mileage I covered. Pro-rated out, that would equal a real-world range of 313 miles out of that 108 kilowatt-hour battery. That wasn't trying. It is nice and warm today, obviously. This is LA. Look at that sunshine. And then I was enjoying the car. You know, I had some quite consistent little bit of freeway driving, but then up a mountain, then back down, so I got some regen. But I think if you want just a nice, long, consistent journey, you probably would be over 350 miles. You could probably make it do 400 miles without too much effort at all. So it is impressive. It is impressive. I think if you look at miles per kilowatt hour, you're always going to struggle to beat Tesla, but I think you could get it with that car in the right conditions, driven carefully, probably like a chauffeur would drive. So chauffeur driven EQS, yeah, probably 350 miles of range, possibly 400. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our videos. If you like our content and want to see more, don't forget to not only subscribe but also hit the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any new videos as they're uploaded. Plus, we're also on Instagram, just look up R Simons or RSEV. We're on Facebook and Twitter. So lots of news, stories and things as we go on each one of those channels.